Good morning, tubers of the RC Universe. Welcome to RC Heli Check UK. It's a miserable and damp day here at the club, and windy. And as you know, I suffer bad with wind. Today we are going to be looking at something rather different. Well, not different, but different to what I would normally be doing. A lot of the times I do a lot of content on helicopters, but there is the occasion when I do stuff on aircraft. And that is what the subject of today is. Those of you who know, my favourite EDF jet is the G-91, and there was a video that I did earlier in the year regarding this model and how it flew. Now, I also mentioned that at some point I will be doing a colour change, and that is what we are going to be looking at today. We are going for a full refurb and detailing and colour change of the G-91. Let's crack on with it, guys. Here is the Bell 230, which was the latest playlist that I created. If you go down into my channel, if you're interested in seeing this build, it will be on the Bell 230 in my playlist. But this is the subject of today's video. This is the G91. Some of you who are interested in EDFs will have no doubt seen the video to this aircraft. And as though the colour scheme is nice and I don't mind it, I did want to change it, and we are going to do something really elaborate on this model. It was originally planned to be a Luftwaffe or Italian Air Force G91, but after scrolling through various pictures and looking at different types of G91s out there, I've decided to go for a Portuguese G91. And the reason for that will be irrelevant very soon. Now, anybody who is hoping that at the end of this video they will be seeing this jet fly, you will be gravely disappointed. This is nothing to do with the flying of the aircraft. That has been proven on a different video. However, when it does come to fly this aircraft, it is going to be kitted out with a new fan. This is a Schubler. It has got a Het motor in the back of it, and it is extremely powerful. It produces 4.5 kilos of thrust, and I shall be putting this inside this jet at some point. Now, the reason why you won't be seeing a flying video is because during the winter period our grass strip that we've got does not get cut, because to be fair, the grass really stops growing during the winter, so it very rarely needs it. However, not only that, because we've only got a grass strip and we haven't got an asphalt runway or a tarmac runway, it enables us to not be, we are unable, I should say, to fly EDF jets off the grass, because the grass is too long and they just struggle to get off the deck. Not only that, this time of year the grass is wet, the ground's quite boggy, and it's just impossible to try and get them off the deck. So you won't be seeing this fly. However, in the spring, when the warmer weather gets here and the grass is starting to be cut and it is nice and short again, then I will be taking this jet back out, and you will see it in all of its glory in its new colour scheme. I say it's an elaborate colour scheme. If this video works out right, I'm going to put a pic now of what it is, and that is it there. This is a Portuguese G91 from 1987 that was done in tiger meat colours, and as you can see, guys, it looks absolutely stunning, and that is what we are going to be doing today. We will be doing this model in that colour scheme, and I am really excited for it, guys. So we've got a lot that we need to do before we can get it to that stage on that picture, and I am literally going to be stripping the aircraft down completely. There are a lot of parts on this model that are going to be removed so that I can clean them better and sand them down and get them to a high standard. Now, one of the things that is going to be the most time consuming is getting the old colour scheme off. I could probably go and just paint straight over the top of it, but because of the yellow in the scheme that we're going to be using, the red underneath would take quite a lot to get rid of. So I'm going to be trying to remove as much of this colour as I possibly can on both the wings and the fuselage, and trying to get it down to a bare white foam fuselage. That way then when it's all sorted and treated, or the damaged and any dinks, like we've got one on the nose here, let's just bring that, you can see there's a bit of a dink on the nose, all that kind of stuff will be filled in and everything will get treated. Once it is done and everything is sorted, the whole airframe will then be sealed, and all I'm going to be using that is either a polyurethane varnish or a mixture of PVA white glue and water, which seals the foam completely, and you can sand it down to a really nice baby's bum finish, and it leaves a great surface for the painting on the Montana paints that I shall be using. Once again, as you know, I am a firm fan of the Montana spray paints excuse me, and that is what the base colour of this is going to be. The tiger stripes in the black will also be done with a Montana spray paint. However, I've got a Revel paint, 2 tins of Revel paint for the nose, because there is white on the nose and there's like a browny olive, should we say, colour that goes here, sort of thing. So you've got a white nose, then it blends into like a browny white, and then it blends into the yellow. So but that's going to be quite a way away. Don't know how long this video is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be more than one part, but we'll see how it goes. Right, one of the first things that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be removing all the hardware and the electrics from the whole of the aircraft. So not only will there be the retracts removed, I'll be removing the servos, the wiring, everything is going to come out. I should be doing that on the wings then, and the fuselage I'll be doing the same. I'll be removing all the servos, all the control linkages, the whole lot. Everything will be coming out, so when they go back into the fuselage, it'll be like it's all being installed into a brand new plane. So that is what we are going to go and do first, and you are going to go into lapsy timey mode while I do it. Just before we do, the whole point of this video, guys, is to help anybody else that has got a foam model that may want to do this themselves. Now, it can be a lengthy process, but if you take your time and you work at it really hard, then you can come out with some stunning effects and some stunning models, even on a foam model. A lot of people back in the day, they used to think like, oh, foam models were cheap, but the trouble is they're not anymore. Even a foam model nowadays can be extremely expensive, and to be honest with you, if you've got a model that is quite tatty and you're thinking of replacing it, don't do what I'm doing here. Right, you can save a foam model even if it's been damaged. You can actually save a foam model and get it to look brand new, and that is the whole point of this video, so I can show you exactly what it is I do, what it is that I use, and how I get it to the standard that we will have when the model is finished. So if you've got any old foam models out there that you really like that are looking a bit tatty, guys, and you're thinking of replacing them, don't. Try having a go at this. You'll be surprised what you might come out with. Anyway, let's start stripping the model, that is, not me, because that would Now I'm sure a lot of you would have been going, what the hell are you doing, man? Seeing me tear this all apart. But like I did say to you, this is going to be Bale 230. This is going to be a very detailed breakdown and refurbish and scale detailing of this model. And for me to do that and check everything over, I literally have to strip it down completely, which is what I've done. The only thing that is left in this fuselage now are the wires that run down the turtleneck to the elevator, and on the other side the other elevator and the rudder, and the drag chute come on Rob, extension lead. However, I can pull that drag chute lead out and the rudder lead. I can pull the drag chute lead out because I never use the drag chute. You don't need to. I mean, as much as it's nice and an extra feature to have on the model, the drag chute was never used. I never used it because the aircraft with full flaps comes in so slow, it doesn't need them. So, where's the spring gone? Where's the slinky? That was, I don't know if you saw it, what came out the back. That basically compresses. You push the parachute in, and then this latch. Where's the latch? I've lost everything now. I can't find anything. Where's the latch gone? Where's the back end? Well, that's stupid. I can't see it. What are we doing? Oh, sorry, it's here. This back end bit here, it basically pushes into that chamber, into there, and then the door is shut, and the little latch basically holds it in place, and the servo pushes this rod, which then pops the hatch open, which then releases the spring, pushing the parachute out. But like I say, we don't need that because we don't need that because we're not going to be using the parachute, so those will be eliminated, but everything else that is here will be going back in. Now, I was trying to eliminate taking the wire out and unplugging all the but I had to because it was such a tangled mess. I thought, you know what, stuff it. So I just unplugged it all, pulled the whole lot out, and then I'm just going to have to figure it all back out again later on when I put it back together. But this is it, broken down. So what the process is going to be now, this white on these wings, believe it or not, are decals. They're not actually paint, it is actually a decal. But I shall be sanding down the whole of the airframe, trying to get as much of this paint off as I possibly can, and then all the areas where the tailplane and the rudder sat and whatnot, I'll be getting out all the old epoxy, sanding them down nice and smooth, and basically getting the airframe ready and prepped for paint. So I'll be using lightweight filler to fill in gaps like this. I'm going to try and leave the panel lines if I can, because they're not very deep panel lines like they usually are on most of these EDF jets. But I might do what I did with the Tiger Cat. I may spray the panel lines black like I did before, and do a couple of coats in between. But this is going to be potentially an air display model, so I'm wanting to basically make it look really nice, like it has got a brand new paint job on. So if that is the case, just to save any time, I may actually fill the panel lines and make it have a smooth finish all over, paint the colour scheme on that I want to do, which, you know, is the Tiger Meat colour scheme from 1987. And then once the airframe is finished and everything is on like it needs to be, like the decals and all that, because I've got to make decals up for this as well. Once they're all on, then basically I am going to clear coat the whole lot to make it nice and shiny. It's going to be coated in a polyurethane or a PVA sealant, so it'll give it a nice smooth finish, and with the sanding that I'll be doing, smooth sanding, it will be nice and shiny. It'll be like a fiberglass model basically when it's finished, but it'll be light because it's foam. So that has taken me all day on and off to do all this, to strip it all down, but we can now really start the work, and get it all sorted. There's a lot of parts there, isn't there, really, for a jet? You don't realise how much stuff goes into these like foam EDF models, but look at all that. It's not just the wing and a fuselage and a tailplane and a rudder. You got the tanks, you got all the plastic parts and everything. There's loads of plastic. Oh, this is all plastic, not balsa wood. Plastic, 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 and circular tracks. There's loads of it, and then spaghetti. There's a lot goes into a model EDF jet, foam model, especially a scale one. But this is going to look the tits when it is done. Don't like that. Can you see the gatoring, as we call it? That basically happens to foam that is painted black. When the sun gets onto it, it gets hot and it goes all gatory. This is another reason why I want to try and get some scale detailing into this as much as I can. Now the only downside to that is I couldn't do a full pilot because we got this here, so I will probably end up doing a scale cockpit with instruments on, better seat and whatnot, and probably a better pilot, but again it'll be a just below the shoulder line pilot, but at least it'll look a little bit better than what it did before. And not only that, it'll be made of wood and painted, so once it is all treated and painted and whatnot, when the sun comes out in the hot summers that we do get every now and again, they are rare, it'll stop gatoring. Polish the canopy up like you saw me do on the BAL 230. If you've watched that, you'll remember that the windows on this were pretty crap, and I was able to polish them up. I shall do the same with the canopy on this as well, get this all polished up. But that's it for today, guys. It is probably around about 6 PM and it's probably dark outside, so I'm now going to pack up and then I'll come back to this again tomorrow. So I'll see you in the morning. Morning, guys. It is the next day and I have off camera tried to get the paint off this model, and for once, being a Sevart model and not a free-wing model, the paint on this is severely adhered to it. So I, without damaging things like panel lines and stuff like that, I've opted to leave the paint on because it's quite smooth and it's got a nice layer to it. And I've removed things like the decals that were covering over these kind of things. I've cut those out. So what I'm going to do now is basically go over all these cracks and dinks that's in the foam using this. It's a lightweight filler, deep gap filler it's called. So I'll go over the whole aircraft with that and fill in all the dinks and whatnot, and then once that's done I will come back to you and show you what it looks like. There you go, guys. As you can see, I've filled in the gaps, the dinks, the dents and everything that was on there, and as to be expected, the majority of them were on the bottom of the aircraft, but there were a few on the top as well that needed to be done. But that has now been all covered and all the holes are now filled, so I'm just going to let it set. Didn't take long for this stuff to go off. It goes off pretty quick, to be fair, and then once it goes off I can sand it down. As you can see, guys, this wing is not actually that bad. There's a few little imperfections on here, like this. It is just like where there's holes in the foam. But the biggest problem that I had, these white lines that are on the aircraft aren't actually paint, they're transfers, and trying to get them all off around the edges to make the edges nice and smooth has been a pain in the arse. But like you can say, the top of the wing is in pretty damn good shape, and the other one's pretty much the same, to be fair, so I'm not going to bother showing you me doing the other wing. But yeah, let's get on with it. I want to get some paint on this model. Right guys, on the tailplane there is one thing that I really do need to address, and that is these. Look at these, flappy flappy flappy. It's very thin foam, and obviously being on the tailplane in sticky outy, they are quite prone to being knocked. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut these ends off flush with the elevator, and so it'll be like that section there will be cut off on both sides, and then I'm going to make some new tailplanes out of balsa wood. It'll be laminated 1/8 balsa, and have that then epoxied onto this once it's all done and made. That way then if these get knocked, it'll be a lot harder than the foam that goes. So that's what I'm going to do with this, and I'll come back to you when it's all done. There we have it guys, two slightly oversized, purposely, trailing edges which fit nicely on here. Then once they're sanded down to the aerofoil, you won't know any different. But as you can see, I've laminated them between, I've got 2 layers of 64th ply going in different directions, so it makes it even harder. So once it's all sanded down and smooth, if I knock it, it's not going to bend. It might dink, but it won't bend like the other ones. So I'll get them fitted, get them sanded down, and then that'll be the tailplane complete. We're nearly done then. I've done all the wings, I've done both the wings, done the rudder, and fin. I've done the block, what goes over the top of the EDF. All I've got left, like I say, is the tailplane. This hasn't got any marks on it at all really. There's one little dink there, and then it's just doing these, because these are obviously going to go back on. But I'm going to make new pylons, because these thin ones are quite flimsy, and as you can see it's been damaged before. Once this stuff gets damaged, it becomes very flimsy, so I'm going to cut these off and I'm going to make new ones out of balsa wood, which will be a lot more stiffer. There you have it guys, two, what are they called? Wing tips, tailplane tips, made of plywood and balsa, and they are a lot better, a lot more stiffer, a lot stronger. So I'm going to fill up the rest of the gaps on the tailplane. The worst of it is pretty much on the bottom, and then the only thing that's left to do are the tanks and the cockpit basically. This stuff here guys is a concoction that I call moonshine. Actually it's not. PVA adhesive, PVA white glue. Then it is basically a 50-50 mix. That means that's how much you got, that's how much you have glue, that's how much of water. But it's a 50-50 mix of PVA glue and water, and then I've got about, I'd say probably about 3 tablespoons of this deep lightweight deep gap filler, lightweight filler, which I then put into this, so it creates like a, how can I put it, it's like a thin paste. And then all you basically do is, once you've sanded your model down and you've got it all nice and smooth, you just pour a little bit onto your sponge, not brush, and you just wipe it on, and you can see it going on there, look. What that does then is it basically seals over the top of all the sanding that you've just done, and seals over the top of all the filling that you've just done, and creates a hard surface. Not hard, rock hard, but it makes it like back to how it was, shall we say. And then once that has dried off, which doesn't take long because it's the water, once the water evaporates, it then basically it starts drying. But like I say, just wipe everything over. You can see where you've gone, you can see the shine, and just cover the whole thing over with this stuff, and it seals it all in, like I say, and then leave it to go off. And then when it's all done, just get your really lightweight sanding pad, in my case this one here, which is a 1000 grit sandpaper sanding pad, and then just literally wipe the go over it with a sanding pad, and then it smooths it all off nice, ready to paint basically. So you can use a polyurethane varnish, that does just the same kind of thing. Polyurethane varnishes can be mixed with water as well. So yeah, I mean, you can use a polyurethane varnish as long as it's a water-based varnish, that is. Don't get an acrylic based varnish and put water in it, because I don't want the letters complaining. So yeah, but you can use a water based polyurethane varnish and it does just the same thing basically. So once you've done all that, like I say, and it's dried off, then you sand it down with your fine sandpaper to get a nice smooth finish just before you paint it. Right, that's that all done. It is all sealed, it has been sanded smooth, and I'm just wiping it over, and as you can hear, baby's arse, nice and smooth. So that is the fuselage finished. All we've got to do now is the wings, the other wing, the tailplane, the fin, the rudder, the One thing I will say, guys, if you're using a heat gun to quick up the process like I am, 12 inches, and that's not about 12 inches away from the surface. If you get any closer, that's what happens. So you're trying to avoid that. If you get too close, it gators. These are the bits that I just cut off the tailplane. But just to show you, if you get too close, that's what happens to foam. So keep it about 12 inches away when you're drying paint off, because if you get any closer, it's going to gator. Right, so we have all the components that you can see here, all filled, sealed, sanded, sealed and ready to go. The surfaces are all like baby's arse, they're all nice and smooth. The only things that I've not done are the tanks. They are not important at the moment, besides they're still drying, they're not completely cured yet, so I can do them another day. I've got to get all the other bits and pieces out that need to be painted, so it'll be like all the side sections of the fuselage, all the undercarriage legs, all that kind of stuff. Got to get all that out, get any crap glue off on there if there's any on there, and get them prepped and ready for painting as well. But the bulk of it is ready to go. Now, I'm not sure what time it is. I think it's around about 4 PM. Yeah, oh, blind. Yeah, sun's out. Sky's cleared all of a sudden. It was overcast last time I came out here, but that was like 3 hours ago. But yeah, I've probably got about half an hour of daylight left, so I don't think I'll be doing any spraying today, purely and simply because it's going to start getting damp, and I've got to do it outside because the colours that I'm using, if I try doing it in here, the whole place will look like a mustard gas bomb's gone off. So I'll get all that all prepped up, and then hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to start painting it. Morning gang, it's been a few days since I last worked on this model. I've had various bits and pieces to do, but I'm back on it now. I'll be working on it over the next week or so. Can't do anything tomorrow. I've got a package that needs to be collected and I've got no ETA, so I won't be up here doing anything tomorrow because I need to stay at home for that. But once that has been sorted, then I will be free for the rest of the week, hopefully, and I will be able to do a lot more work on this model. I've been busy the last hour or two removing old dead glue from these bits and pieces that I have removed from the model to make it easier, and I've just been masking off bits and bobs like the light on this, the lenses on the ends of the wings, but the rest of this stuff now I am literally going to be using these sticks and sticking with tape on the back end of all the parts that I need to be painting now. I have basically got to go over everything first with white as an undercoat, find out if I've got any imperfections and whatnot. I've gone over everything as best as I can. Like on the tailplane, for example, I actually filled in all the panel lines and made them smooth, so the fin and the rudder have both got all their panel lines filled to make them smooth. I've left the panel lines on the wings and on the fuselage. On the flaps I've removed the mould bumps. Don't know if you can see these here. These are where the moulds leave those little tiny lip bubble things. I've sanded those down all smooth and got rid of those as well. But what I'm planning on doing, because I'm doing this in tiger meat colours, like the insides of the flaps, that's going to be the top surface that you'll see on the wing, but I'm leaving the inner surface, because it's a split flap, I'm leaving it red, so it'll look pretty striking when the flaps are down, when it's just sat on the deck with like the red against the yellow. So I'll only be doing the one side when it comes to that. Same with the undercarriage doors and the wheel wells. I'll be painting the outside surfaces, but the inner surfaces I'm going to try and leave red. And again, like I say, on the sequencing doors, same with those. But everything else is going to be painted white to start off with. Fuselage, wings, tanks, everything. Then I'll be able to see if there's any imperfections. I've already corrected a couple that I've found over the last hour or so, but they should be dry now. And then once I've done that and I've keyed it over a little bit, then I can start putting the top coat of yellow and black. So I'm going to do these off camera because, as per usual, it's blowing a hoolie outside and there's no point in me taking you out to do this. I'm just going to get the old rattle can, like I say, and paint the surfaces on these, and I'll come back to you when it's all done. Right guys, that's all the plastic parts coated white now with white undercoat, including my hand. So I'm just going to let those dry off, and then once they're dry I can give them a coat of yellow then, and that'll be all the plastic parts done. Then I can start concentrating on the rest of the bigger parts of the airframe. Right, I've done the tailplane, guys. It is blowing a hoolie out there. It's blowing about 45 mile an hour winds. I've masked off the canopy as well. I'm now going to go and give the fuselage try and give the fuselage a coat of white outside, and then all I've got left to do then are the wings and these other bits and pieces here. I'm not sure about the tanks yet because I want to replace these here with wood, and I haven't got any with me, so I might leave them until tomorrow or something, once I remember to bring some wood with me. But yeah, let's crack on and get it done. Right, that's that fuselage painted in its undercoat white. I didn't do in here because that's where the wheels retract, and I'm going to be painting that a silver colour. But as you can see, the rest of it is completely covered, and I'll just leave that hanging up here now to air dry, and then I can check it over once it's dry to see if there's any dinks or dents that I've not filled and missed. but looking at it so far, it don't look that bad, to be honest with you. It looks like I've covered everything. So, but yeah, while I'm here, I'll just show you these that I've done. These are just a temporary printout for size dimensions to make sure that they're all the correct size, because I've literally done all this by eye. But these are all the decals that will be going on the model once it's all finished with its yellow and black. These are the right size, the mouths and the triangles, the emblem that goes on the tail, and this bit here, which has got a combination of English and Portuguese on there, are the right size. These here though are slightly bigger than what they need to be. I've got to make these about probably about an inch smaller in diameter than what they are. All these are all good as well. These are all the good sort of right size. The eyes are the right size. And these circles here, they've got to go smaller. They need to go about ½ inch smaller. And also these rescue arrows and salvamento, as what rescue is in Portuguese, they need to be smaller. They actually need to be kind of like that size instead of the size they are. So but most of it's pretty damn good. So I'll be able to print these off on the decal sheet. So I'll need to readdress, like I say, these here and these arrows and these here, and the armament boxes as well are going to be slightly smaller, but the rest of them are pretty good. So I can do that later on this evening when I get back home. Then I'll be able to print the decals off. These will be going on white decal paper, these two here, and these ones here will be going on a clear. So yeah, I can sort all them out later on now. Right, let's carry on. Let's get these wings and other bits and pieces left coated white. Right guys, there you can see everything has now been coated with a primer white, ready for the yellow coat to go on. So what I'm going to be doing now is I need to get the larger components like the wings and the fuselage and take them into the cooking lounge and give them a wet sand, just to smooth off the whites before I start coating it with the yellow. That way then it continues to try and give a smooth as possible finish with the plane. So yeah, we'll get all that done and then we can start putting the old yellow rooney on, as they say. Right, let's crack on again. Well guys, I've gone through the process of pre-shading around the edges and everything first, and I'm not done up the top there because you'll see in a bit when the next lot of colours go on. But yeah, I've pre-shaded all around the fuselage and the canopy, and I've painted all of the bits that were white are now yellow. Again, I've painted around all the hinge lines and everything first on the ailerons and on the rudder and elevators, so that way then I know that the gaps in between are all done. And I've also done the tanks and the fin strakes that go on the tops of the wings. You're probably thinking, why have I missed this bit here? If you remember, I did say earlier on that these are actually going to be replaced by balsa wood. I'm going to make balsa wood mounting frames for these because these are ever so flimsy and the tanks just start wobbling around. If you have one knock and it softens the foam, they're gone. So yeah, that's why that's still a bit red there, is because basically that's where I was holding it. As you can see, I was sensible this time as well. I was wearing condoms on my hand, so I didn't get no paint on my hands this time. How clever am I? Right guys, that is everything done in yellow anyway. I've got all the linkages done, all the plastic parts that stick on the fuselage, the flips, they've all been painted, the cone that goes over the top of the EDF the canopy, that's had its coat of yellow as well, and the tail plane and fin and rudder have also been done. There's the fuselage, which you just see me doing in lapsy timing mode. Yes, I haven't done it all at the top because there's a reason. And then we've got the wings up there. A lot of you may recognise this colour. It is the same as this. This is my Bell 230, which has been the subject of the last few videos. And the actual colour that I am using is shock yellow, or S1010 is the code for this paint. And it is a deep yellow, as you can see, and with the Bell 230 being the way that it is, it was actually doing this that gave me the inspiration to do the G-91 in the Portuguese tiger meat markings from 1986. So it's going to be pretty much the same colour as that, this will be, but yeah, it's a jet and not a helicopter. But anyway, so I'm going to let all this stuff all cure and dry over the next hour or so, and then that'll be it for tonight, because it's already dark outside and I don't like to be up here late because I get scared. But anyway, I'll let all this cure and then load it all up into the car, and then hopefully the next time we come up here it'll be fully cured and I can start going through the whole rigmarole of masking it all off for the tiger stripes. That is going to take a long time. Right, I've temporarily fitted the nose wheel doors and the nose wheel door at the front with the light on for a reason, because I'm just about to brown nose it, as they say. All will be revealed in a second. Well guys, that'll go off in a bit. That is a matte browny olive brown mud colour, which is sort of like faded into white there, and there will be a black tip which will be basically the nose, and then this bit here, I didn't have that much control over that spray. It was pretty crap, to be fair, compared to the old Montana spray paints. So I've come here how I have, but then I'm going to get some more yellow and I'm going to create a more better blending in like area around the fuselage so that it blends in a lot smoother instead of it being as sort of like sharp as it is there, as you can see it. But yeah, I mean, this is the colour that it is meant to be, so I've not gone wrong. But yeah, I did nearly drop it, as you saw. But yeah, that's basically going to be another coat, and then I'll get some more yellow and I'll blend the yellow in with it once it's dry. But it dries pretty quick, so this is a matte colour. This jet is starting to come to life now, guys. So you can see now how the brown and the yellow have now been faded in a lot better than what they were. And as you saw in the time lapse, I took off the masking peely off. So yeah, we are getting there. Now that is the colour scheme that we are, get straight. No, there is that. Nope, there we go. That is what we are looking at. So we have done the nose here, and we've done the brown, which blends into the yellow, and then the rest of the aircraft obviously yellow, and then we've got the tiger's mouth, which will be going here, which I showed you earlier on in that practice decal that I printed out, which is this bit, and then we've got the hard part, the tiger stripes. I have masked quite a few models off in my time, and as you know, it's a longer process. This is going to take forever to mask, because I have basically got to mask all the yellow off and leave where the tiger stripes have got to go, and as you can see, it's quite a lot. So that's going to be an interesting thing. I'm going to let the paint settle down for a couple of days. That way then I'll be able to mask it using my frog tape that I use, and it will not pull any of the other paint off. So yeah, next time we come back it'll be another day. Good afternoon guys, it is the next day. I have not been able to come up here until later on in the day. It is just gone dinner time, and I've had a few touch-ups that I've had to do, leaving the model where I did last night. The two wing panels were touching each other, and I don't know if you can see that there. There's a small mark that I've had to go over, which came off here, and I also had a small mark there which came off here, and I had a small mark on there which came off somewhere else. But the worst bit, which really pissed me off, was on the nose. I don't know if you can see those marks there. One of my helicopters slid in the car and leant against it, and it's dented the side of the airframe, and it pulled the paint off as well. So I've had to touch that up, and there's nothing I can do about that. I'm hoping one of the decals is going to cover that, but it is the only thing that really sticks out on this model now, where the rest of it is all nice and smooth, which is annoying. But hey ho, I've been working out what goes on what side of the aircraft. I'm going to need to put bits and pieces back in when it comes to doing the tiger stripes, because if that's not on there and it needs a tiger stripe on it, then it's going to be difficult to match it. So I'm going to need everything putting in. So I think it's a case now of putting all the servos back into the model with all the control links and all the control arms and everything, and basically starting to reassemble it before I mask it all off for the tiger stripes, which is going to take forever. Anyway, let's put you on time-lapse mode while I put it all back together again. Oh guys, probably just see me fiddling and farting around with that bit there, and it's labels. You get one of these label makers, they're ideal. Set it on the smallest setting as I do, and then you can mark up all your wires so you know what goes where, because believe you me, when you've got a hodgepodge of ethnicity of wiring in here the way that I do, it's always good to know what goes where. So yeah, it's just a little tip guys. But if you've got yourself a little label maker, it is worth labelling these up. It makes it so much easier. Right guys, as you can see, I've not glued it in yet, but I've lined the rudder up as it should be, because before it was a little bit too far forward, and I'm guessing that's because of this hoofing great big gap here. But what I did last night off camera is I made some of this. This is basically an old decal sheet that's got sticky decals on, should we say, and I laid over the top of it some electrical tape. It was basically, where is it, that yellow electrical tape, and then I sprayed over the top of it with this colour paint. So what I've got now effectively is like a patch that I can put on various areas. So in this case here, I can fill this with like a piece of 1/8 balsa, and then I can just cut a piece of this to shape and stick it on top, and nobody be none the wiser, because, well, you will be, because I've just told you, but you know what I mean. But yeah, another tip guys, don't throw away your old decal sheets, especially if they're sticky decals. You can't do it with transfer paper. It's got to be like the vinyl stickers, or if you've got an old like load of vinyl somewhere, peel the vinyl off, whatever you got left of it, masking tape, electrical tape, like I say, put it on the top. What the electrical tape does then is you can peel it off whenever you want, and it doesn't lose any of its stickiness. So yeah, another tip for you there guys. Right, we are slowly getting there. We've got the flaps and the ailerons installed now on the starboard wing, or for those of you that come from my country, on the right. I've got the elevator servos connected and the rudder servo connected as well. I can't put the rudder through yet and connect that up yet because I need to put the tailplane on first, but as I mentioned before, I'm going to be painting this model with the parts off it, so this rudder will not be on, the rudder won't be on there when I do the tiger stripes, neither will the tailplane, but I'll be putting them on sort of like dry fitting when I do the tiger stripes, and then once all the tiger stripes are done, then I will start fixing permanently down with epoxy the tailplane and the rudder. That way then I can do, because I can't put this on here until the tailplane's on and until the rudder's connected as well. So it's a bit of a slow process, I know, but I want it doing properly. So that's that wing done. Just got to do the other wing over there now. Look at the mess I'm making in here again. And then once that's done, I'm going to be starting to mask off to do these stripes. As you can see guys, I've started to mask off the tiger stripes. This is a long process. I'm using frog tape to get the lines that I need, like stripe's going to go there, then this will be filled, black stripe will go here, that'll be filled, black stripe here, that'll be filled, black stripe here, that'll be filled, black stripe. It's like loads of work. I can't do one side at a time, I've got to do the whole lot, and then I've got to get it sprayed black and get the paint, we'll get the tape peeled off quick, because as you can see there, it pulls off the, even with this, it pulls the paint off. I'm having to do the whole, even though this is low tack tape, stick it on, or get the shape that I want, put it on my jumper to make it less tacky, and then stick it on. So, right, let's crack on. There we go, guys. I didn't do all of it as a time lapse, but like literally a third of it. But wow, that's a lot of masking. I just gotta hope now I can get this black paint on quick and get it dried and get this tape off before it sticks that much. It pulls the yellow tape off, because that would really pee me off. Right. Trouble is, it's blowing a hoolie, so I'm going to have to open the door and do it in here. My God, look at it, guys. Looks like it's been in a plane crash. Looks like it's been scorched. Yeah, well, just gotta keep your fingers crossed and hope that I've got everything and covered where I need to cover. But we'll see. More important thing is whether I can get this tape off without pulling any of the yellow off. That's the big thing. So let's have a look, shall we? I mean, it's touch dry already, but yeah, I don't know. I hate this part. I hate it. Well guys, as you can see, I've got one side off, but I am a little bit disappointed. Look at this. It has peeled the yellow paint off in a couple of places, but I'll be able to touch it up. The majority of it has stayed on. There's a bit there that's come off as well. So I'm not going to do a time lapse for the other side. I'll see if I can peel the other side off just as carefully as what I just did that side, and hopefully I won't take any more yellow paint off. There we go guys. I managed to touch up the areas where the paint had come off, and I did it basically by, hold on, let me get it, brown paper with a little square cut in it, and it was just a case of holding it over and then just giving it a quick squirt, and Bob's your uncle, and there's your fanny. But yeah, how cool does that look? It's actually come out awesome. Got to do the wings and everything now, but that'll be tomorrow because it is getting late up here. It is pitch black outside. I can't see a thing. It's blowing a hoolie. But wow, that is cool. Let me just turn it around so you can see the other side, so you know it's not a fluke. There you go guys, and there's the other side, looking just as bright. Again, all the little helies are all covered up, and not a mark in sight. I am chuffed to bits for that. Right, this has got to now sit and set, because I've got to, the only thing I've got left to do on this now is to put the decals on and then seal it all. But I want to do it all together, so this is just going to sit now. Like I say, I won't touch this. It has been done apart from the decals, and the next stage is I'm going to have to do the wings and all the other bits and pieces that need to go on. And the tanks make the slots that in the wings, and then wow, this jet's going to look cool. Like I said to you at the beginning of the video guys, do not expect to see this fly. This is a winter project for spring next year, because our strip, being just a grass strip at the moment, is boggy as hell, and the grass is not short enough to take jets off. We do not fly jets in the winter, so yeah, please don't expect to see this flying. If you want to see it flying, there is a video of this G91 before I painted it when it was red that I did a few months ago. But yeah, not yet, because like I say, this is going to be finished and then it'll be put away then for the rest of the winter until spring arrives. Okay guys, we are going to leave it there for now, I think. The video is going to be quite long, and if I carry on going the way that I am, it's going to be like way too long for you guys. So thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying this like refurb. I will be doing more of it, and the next video will be uploaded in the next day or so, and hopefully she will be finished. Like I said, this will not be flying once done. It is a winter project ready for spring next year, and hopefully like I say, in the next episode it will be completely finished. She's looking good guys. See you in the next video. Thanks for your support. Hit the like, subscribe, ding dong, all that malarkey, and I will see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves.